sorry to be a bit late.
Oh no.
I just came from the Tesla factory in Fremont.
Yes. Was it something wrong?
There's always something wrong.
Did you have to like?
At any given point, there's always something wrong.
Yes.
Because there's just too many things going on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, one of the trickiest things about a car.
One thing I find fascinating about Elon Musk is his ability to solve problems. He's been able to distinguish himself from his competitors while simultaneously working in 3 different fields. While the rest of the world sees the work Musk is doing like something out of fiction, more specifically Iron Man, he sees it as problems that greatly affect humanity that need to be solved. I thought it would be interesting to explore Elon's problem-solving method and see if we could use what he does in our everyday lives. While in college, Musk thought there were 5 things that would greatly affect the rest of society.
The 5 things that I thought about at the time in college, so quite a long time ago, 25 years ago, making life multiplanetary, accelerating the transition to sustainable energy, the internet, broadly speaking, and then genetics and AI.
Fast forward 25 years and Musk is or has solved problems in 3 of those 5 fields. Zip2 and PayPal revolutionized the internet. SpaceX has made great advancements to space travel and is working towards making life multiplanetary. Tesla and SolarCity have massively accelerated the transition to sustainable energy. Elon has been able to achieve so much in 25 years for a lot of reasons, but one of the biggest keys to his success is the use of a concept in physics called the first principles theory.
I think it's also important to reason from first principles rather than by analogy. So the normal way that we conduct our lives is we reason by analogy. We're doing this because it's like something else that was done. First principles is kind of a physics way of looking at the world. And what that really means is you kind of boil things down to the most fundamental truths and say, okay, what are we sure is true or as sure as possible is true? And then reason up from there.
First principles thinking is a mental model for solving problems. Mental models are nothing new. They have been used by brilliant minds across the world. Famous mathematician Bill Thurston once stated, "My mathematical education was rather independent and idiosyncratic, where for a number of years I learned things on my own, developing personal mental models for how to think about mathematics. This has often been a big advantage for me when thinking about mathematics, because it's easy for me to pick up later the standard mental model shared by groups of mathematicians. This means that some concepts that I use freely and naturally in my personal thinking are foreign to most mathematicians I talk to." Essentially what Bill Thurston is stating here is that by using mental models, he's been able to see a problem from a unique perspective, which gives him a unique and different way of solving it. This way of thinking has allowed Bill Thurston to distinguish himself from other mathematicians who use standard mental models to solve problems. Nobel Prize winning physicist Richard Feynman also used mental models for approaching problems. In his book, Surely You're Joking, Mr. Feynman, he says that because he was self-taught, he has a particular way of looking at problems. His unique method for solving problems was different than the standard methods of solving problems taught at school. Because of this, Mr. Feynman developed a reputation of solving the problems that others couldn't. Because of the use of mental models, these 3 men have been able to stand out in their fields. There's no reason why we can't use mental models or first principle thinking to help us with the problems in our lives. An example of using first principles thinking on an everyday problem would be like this. Losing weight is difficult because I have to eat healthy and work out. Applying the first principles theory to this would say, what are we sure about losing weight? To lose weight, you have to burn more calories than you eat. Is it possible to accomplish this without it being difficult? Yes. By following a simple meal guide and exercising 3 times a week, over time you will lose weight. What first principles thinking essentially does for you is allow you to think for yourself. By boiling a problem down to its fundamental truths, you can then begin to solve the problem in a creative way until you find a way to solve the issue in a manner that is not standard, rather than deferring to think about the problem the way the rest of the world does. Elon Musk has been using this concept for 25 years now, and in that time he has been able to innovate and change the world by taking ideas that have always been fiction and turning them into reality. We all won't be making civilization multiplanetary, but we can all use the same tools Elon does to solve problems.